Shalom, Israel. What's going on, y'all? You know, I've been sitting here. I'm at work right now. I'm just kind of thinking about the stuff that we've been talking about. And I don't know. It's really bothering me, this whole identity crisis. My opinion is, I really believe we need to attack this identity crisis so Jake can know what's going on. There's a lot of weird, strange doctrine. I think I'm going to title this The Hijack. I think I've made enough videos. That's Facebook, YouTube, LiveMe, and home recorded. I think I've made enough videos now to where one of my biggest focuses is on genealogy. And the reason why is you don't know your heritage until you know who you are. A lot of us don't know who we are. And to me, as long as we don't know who we are, there's always going to be this big void and this big, indoctrination about convincing you who you are. I just seen a sister post something and it really disturbed me. I seen a sister post these pictures of these so-called Native Americans, and she says, "These are my ancestors." And I'm like, no, sister, those are not your ancestors. Like, none at all. And I'm not trying to call a sister, I'm just using her as an example. Excuse me, slop. Just using her as an example because our people are still under this spell. And I know where it comes from. This comes from the fact that everything you've been taught in school, you believed it. You 100% bought it. You in your mind thought, oh, then they'll never lie to me. They lied to you the whole time. Let me give an example. Let's give an example. Let's just use, I've already brought this out in a video before. Let's just use Chief Joseph example. Chief Joseph is a living testimony to the fact that there was a great migration to America from the other side of the world. To my knowledge, if I am correct, the first one to really set out and move around the world, according to that Torah, that would actually be the Canaanites. How far did they go? I don't know. Did they only explore the known world at that time? Maybe so, but I don't actually know. But according to the Torah, it says they spread out abroad. That's Genesis 10. When you look at Chief Joseph and you look at his Assyrian tablet and you look at the cuneiform writing tablets that he has, that is a testimony within itself. Now, Chief Joseph said himself that his ancestors was brought over here by clearly the Assyrians. How else would he have an Assyrian star? The Babylonians, they didn't write in direct Hebrew. Some of them did, but the vast majority of them, they wrote in cuneiform, which we can trace our language back to cuneiform as well, but that's another story. The thing that I'm trying to get, the thing that I'm trying to get out across to you is that Psalm 83 is very real. Psalm 83 told you they will cut you off from being a nation. They can't cut you off from being a nation if you still know who you are. And they can't cut you off from being a nation if you know who they are. This is the hijack. We got a lot of brothers that's still confused, not because they're ignorant or not because they're dumb. They're confused because they're not understanding that the lies that have been told to them. Brothers, I just want to get this one out. Like I said, this is not so much a lesson. It's just more or less a small commentary. You are not related to those fucking people. Like none at all. None. And in the example of Chief Joseph, I'm going to ask you a question. Why is it that your American government and American, not just government, let me just say your American system has taught you that the white man came and he made war on the people like Chief Joseph, but yet you got all these fucking pictures of him? Where do you get all of these pictures from? You got pictures of Chief Joseph posing with a gun. You got pictures of Chief Joseph posing like this. There's at least like 8, 9 different pictures of this guy. Now I wanna ask you a question. You mean to tell me he was on the run from the cavalry, the American government, and he was stopping places to pose and take pictures? No. No. When the American government came in and they seen their practices, they said, hey, you're our long lost brother from overseas. We'll do a favor. We will help you take these other people to war, because clearly these other people kicked y'all ass so bad, y'all had to be restricted to stay in a certain place, which is usually the West Coast, and a lot of them actually tried to go down to South America. Now you can look on the walls of South America and you can see these so-called quote-unquote Native American Indians. You can see that they were slaves down there. They were slaves to the melanated people. In that book, America Being the Latest and Greatest Discovery, those same Native Americans in that book admit that they had to get here by a bloody war, that they had to fight their way all the way into America. And you really think the American government got all these pictures of Chief Joseph, who was supposedly on the run? He was not on the run. They employed those people to help them fight you. Then they turned around and they gave them a part of your heritage, which is this land. And what happened? Once they had enough of us situated, they turned on them, started killing their ass, and put them on a reservation. This is exactly what happened. And so this is to the Jakes who still think the so-called Native American is your ancestor. That is not your ancestor at all. You have no blood relation to them. What the sick part is, Jake is so full of self-hate. Jake wants to be everybody else. And this is a fact. My Facebook, my social media bear witness. All my life, I'm not born in Tennessee, but I'm from Tennessee. All my life, and Tennessee is what? What is known? Tennessee. This is one of the biggest Cherokee states in America. All my life, every single Jake, quote unquote, / black person that I've ever met down here tells you they're descendants of the Cherokee Indians. When I went and I started studying and I found out the Cherokee Indians was really melanated people who wrote in Paleo-Hebrew, they had fringes, they kept Passover, and they had lambs and multiple wives. When I started bringing that information out, now don't no Jake want to be a Cherokee. You only wanted to identify with Cherokee because of the self-hatred that you have for yourself. This is a fact. Right the minute you realize that the real Cherokees are the quote-unquote melanated people who wrote in Paleo-Hebrew, now you want nothing to do with them. Because what? They're not white enough. They're not light enough. They're not cream enough. Jake, you really, really need to get out of this self-hatred thing. Because this self-hatred thing has really, really corrupted your mind. And so much to the point to where you don't even want to know your heritage. You don't even want to know your truth. All you want to know is who you think you can fit in to be. Jake, I want to tell you something. People love your culture and they hate you. People love things about you but hate you personally. And that's just what it is. So for all these so-called Jakes who still think you are African, you're not. You still think you're a Native American, which you have more claim to that because you are the original people native to this land, yes. But these $5 looking Indian motherfuckers, you got no relation to them. What happened is see, the beast trained you to perm your hair, straighten your hair and all of that. You want to associate with everybody who you think got straight hair. And I want to ask a question. What the fuck is good hair? Like, all my life, I've been trying to figure this out. What the fuck is good hair? If you even say good hair, you're a brain-dead niggatron who's so fucking in love with the white man, everything the Creator gave you, you hated it. The Creator gave you his image and you despise it. Jake, you need to wake up. Jake, you need to go get you some books. And you need to start reading. You need to start learning and realizing who it is you are and who it is these other people are around you. Now, I know getting into the genealogy thing is damaging enough because a lot of people don't really know who they descend from. And a lot of people have been told lies. There's so many brain-dead niggatrons who still think they're African, and I'm saying this now, yet and still, to what I've been looking at and researching, the only Africans that are black is starting to look like the Kushites. All the rest of the Africans that are black, that are, are quote-unquote Hamites, they are not black people. And there's like 3 ancient maps that only show white people in Africa. And they're not the white people you think. These are some monstrous looking fucking people. Some of them have only 1 leg. Some of them have horns. Some of them just totally decrepit. Some of them look like Neanderthal. And this is what was shown that lived in Africa. And for anybody who's still like, oh man, you bugger, Africa is the home to all black people. No, the fuck it's not. Even Herodotus says Ham only had 2 children that are indigenous to Africa. Only 2. And that would be the Libyans and the Ethiopians. And I'm starting to think the Ethiopians are not even indigenous to Africa, because the Ethiopians are more indigenous to India. And their migration pattern shows that they actually migrated into Africa. So I'm starting to doubt that whole Herodotus thing. Just a little bit, I'm gonna be honest. But for the point of the argument, he does make a clear note that not all people who are dark descend from Africa. In fact, most Jakes don't even understand and realize the vast majority of us, our home is actually Asia. Now, what happened within that time, that's a whole nother story. But for anybody who's kind of in doubt, I want you to do this. Look up what a Native American Indian looks like, and I want you to look up what a Plains warrior Tartar looks like, and you're going to realize they're the same fucking people. The same people who we quote-unquote think are the Native Americans, they are from Russia. They are from North Asia and Russia. Those people are not indigenous to America. Like, none at all. Jake needs to wake up and learn who you are. I'm going to be doing a video, and I'm going to be doing another video. And I'm going to be doing, once again, I'm going to be dealing with nations. I'm going to be dealing with who is who. I've covered Canaan. I've covered Egypt. I think I'm going to start in on Edom, because I've covered a lot of people. I haven't covered Jake, and I haven't covered Edom. But I've been trying to show y'all, the people who you think are the people who you all think, they are not. I want to give y'all a quick one. If you've been keeping your Torah like you say you are, and you've been really reading and paying attention, go to Genesis 10 right now and go to the portion of Mizrahim. It tells you the last descendants of the people, the quote-unquote Mizrahim people, or who you know as the Egyptians. The last 2 branches of them people to even walk the earth is the Philistines and the Cathorium. And didn't either one of them even live in Egypt. They both lived in Canaan and lived in the Middle East. So you got to ask yourself, why are the descendants of Mizrahim not living in Africa, or not living in that part of Africa? Food for thought is always grounds for further research. I want to say Kahala Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Shalom.